Welcome to Season 2 of Strengths on Fire, the Great Strengths Debate.
Think you know Clifton's strengths? Think again.
This season, we're breaking down the biggest myths
Challenging conventional wisdom.
and showing you how strengths actually show up in leadership, life, and the messy middle of real work.
Sarah, you want to light these strengths on fire?
Let's light it up!
It's official, Sarah. It is official. Dun, dun, dun. Can we say it's officially Season 2? We're at a Season 2 wrap party?
We are at a Season 2 wrap party.
We
boom,
are
boom,
at-
boom, 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 boom. What would a party be without a little song?
I don't know. Season 2 requires some singing from Sarah. We had a couple singing moments from Sarah. I love it when Sarah's voice is resonating and out there and singing. So I love it.
You might be the only one.
I doubt that. I seriously think you underestimate the wonderful power of your singing voice, because no matter what, you are committed, and that is what it requires. So
true. Never say that I didn't show up with the full force.
Oh, you showed up. You showed up all season. And I love that we even cold opened with a singing moment from Sarah this year. That was a wonderful cold open. And by the way, for our listeners, I did not tell Sarah I was going to put that in the cold open.
No, you didn't.
So
what a surprise.
I did say, you just when you listen to the episode, don't hate me, I think is what I said. So
It was fine. It was fine.
well, how about we'll start with a couple of different questions today for our arsonists, and then we'll jump into some notes around the season. So I'm really curious about highs and lows for you right now, Sarah. Let's wrap the season with an understanding around where we're at from our highs and maybe some of our lows in our professional, personal lives are.
Well, a high for me is it is fall time in Nebraska, and we are having some stunning weather today. Now, this could change drastically tomorrow, but I walked my kids to school today, and it was a crisp fall air, like those low 50s. All the leaves are changing colors and falling off, but the grass is still green. It just feels like quintessential fall. And I love that. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful outside. So I think my high is just loving where I'm at, being present in the moment of a beautiful day. Bill, what about you? What's a high in your life these days?
Absolutely perfect answer. And I can't steal it because it's not what I would think was my high. But I will tell you, I absolutely love fall in Reno, Nevada. It is the time of year. So I echo that. I feel it with you. I understand why you would feel that way because it is spectacular here. But for me, kind of the high that comes to my mind right now, from a work point of view, I'm working with a bunch of families. And it wasn't really something I was aiming at. It just turned out that a couple of family-run companies showed up, and then they kept recommending other family-run companies. And I'm really finding that dynamic energizing because there is that, we had Jessica on from Full Tilt Logistics, and when you and I interviewed her, we were talking, and you said it so well. You came on and said, man, listening to you surrounded by your husband, your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law, and your mother-in-law absolutely frightens me. You brought up the fear frightened word. And she said, yeah, we've been making it up as we go along. And so I feel really fortunate that I think there's an added amount of trust when a family hires you because the whole family has to feel like, hey, I can trust and rumble in that way. And that's been kind of a high for me. It's been a good one. So the other high, subtle high for me is I really appreciate that my cats broke into the podcast studio twice this season to step in. So
there you go.
Yeah, one of my cold opens was my cat shutting down my system. And, I have friends that have asked me since listening, why don't you own dogs? You go chucker hunting, you have dog-like events in your life. And I love dogs. I absolutely love them, but I like to travel and I like to get
Do
away and
you? Because you don't like when they go to the bathroom in your front
don't
yard.
nope. But my backyard, if it was my dog, I'd totally in.
Mm,
And I
okay,
love great
okay.
dogs. But I want to travel and move and do stuff, and cats are so easy to do that with. So I have them here. But one shut down my cameras for a little while, and then the other one absolutely assaulted Carrie Chandler in the studio on the microphone, like had his face shown, the whole thing. It was pretty. I actually left it in. I'm pretty positive. So,
That's
for any of
funny.
you interested in seeing what a cat looks like when they get on a podcast, check out Carrie Chandler's episode, which is pretty
Taylor
funny.
Swift would
So
love that. She's a
Taylor
big cat
would
fan. She
Taylor
would
would
love
be all
that.
over it. All right. So those are how about a low, something in your world, your life that man, you wish you could change right now.
Well, I think it is funny enough. If I was saying being present in today and the fall day is a high, I think the low is we are in November. And as a mother, it is very hard to stay present because I'm going to be hosting Thanksgiving, right? So I got to think about Thanksgiving. And
Are
then we
you
get to
hosting
the
it at your
Christmas.
house? You're
I am
doing it?
hosting it at my house. I have for the last few years. I usually smoke a turkey, not to brag. But yes, I am the smoker of the family. But I'm going to be hosting Thanksgiving. And then it's the Christmas, right? Making all of the magic happen. Thinking about, okay, we've got to get Elf the shelf. We've got an elf. We've got to get presents. We've got to get plans. The kids don't have school for 2 weeks around Christmas. And then my husband and I were going to go on a little trip to Arizona at the beginning of January. But then it's my son's birthday in January. And it's just from November to the end of January, just is this whole doldrum of stuff to do. And it goes by so fast. And then I'm telling you, it is crazy because when you have children that are young but in school, you have to plan their summer activities in January and February.
Yeah.
So also I'm thinking, oh, what are we going to do for summer of 2026? So my mind is so often in the future right now of Christmas, January, the summer, that if I don't
Tough.
try to stay present in the moment, I'm going to miss it all because I'm so far thinking. So it's just
Yep.
like I get the Google photos of my kids when they were babies, and then I get like, oh, I miss those little days. And it's like, okay, just be present in the moment. Don't think about the past. Don't think about the future. Just like day by day, take it step by step so you can really ground yourself in what's happening today and not get the overwhelm of, oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's my
Wow.
low.
Wow. Well, my low is exactly opposite of yours in a unique way. So, as we've pointed out, I'm not a good strategic thinker. I do not think in the future. I don't think in the past. I just think in the moment. And what I am finding is I have a couple of new contracts that are up right now, and we're negotiating and getting through them. And, I think it's been my kind of general for me. Like I just finished a contract and got paid, and I've got two more that I'm working on that, how do we work? And for me, I'll just concentrate on those, and I'm not worried about it because I'm like, oh, there's money coming in and everything's great and nothing's happening. And I think for me, the problem is I've had to retool how I think about what's next. I have to think what's after these and then what's after that. And I'm not good at that. I definitely struggle to do that. So I've had to retool my strengths in my mind over, some responsibility and some developer of myself, thinking about, okay, these are great. When this is done, what am I going to be
What's
approaching
next?
then, and who am I working with, and how are we going to do it? Because I am not good at that. And I do have a strategist. She's been on the show with us, Allie Alden, first season. And my wife is incredibly good at doing those strategic things, but I need to do it myself. And I feel the burden. I feel it. It's a little struggle. Sorry for me. I don't know what's going on with my
Get
voice.
choked
So
up. He's getting
I
choked
know
up,
it's yeah.
folks.
I choke up easy, but not over strategy. Me, I'm like strategies. So that's kind of my struggle right now. I kind of wish I could put the funnel, the business funnel, as my strategist would say, in front of mind and think of the next several things instead of just what's right in front of me. So, and you're so busy thinking about what's so far in front of you. You wish you could be more right here.
Yes, but
That's
not
why.
with business. With business, I'm
Right.
not thinking about what's in front of me. I should be. I I feel that challenge and low that you're having business wise. It's just personal wise. I think about all of the future things because I
Yeah.
have to. But I wish I did that a little bit more in my business. I am also trying desperately hard to be more thoughtful and strategic and do more outreach. So if you're listening to this and you would like to hire either Bill or I, we are open to it. We can come help your company with strengths. I got a keynote for you. Like, folks, call to action. We got it right here at the top.
Yeah, we can help. We have some openings on the calendar. Just let us know, right?
Yeah,
Since
that's right.
we're not going to be shooting a
2026
podcast
booking
for
now.
right for a while. So we got time. Let us know. We're all set.
That's
Listen to
right.
the very end of the show. Sarah will tell you how to get a hold of us. And by
Hmm.
the way, just as a good through line, get your thumbs out right now. Start liking, texting, giving us notes. Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down. Help
No
us.
thumbs down. When we
No
want,
thumbs
when
down.
we say we want feedback, we just want compliments.
Yeah, that's a
Only
good
write
point.
nice things in those comment feeds, but we will go and read them. You can find this video on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or anywhere you get your podcast. But okay,
Love it. Love
today
it.
we have a purpose. We did
Yep.
come here to do something. This is
Yes, we did.
the season finale of season 2, and we thought it would be fun if we went over some of our highlights, best moments, best episodes from season 2, talked about what we liked, what stood out, what we go back to and listen to, what we recommend to people. So that's what we're doing here today, as we are talking about season 2, reflection, recap. And guess what, folks? It's the end of the year. That's what you should be doing. Stop, reflect, think back on your year. What have you accomplished? What have you done? So that's what we're doing podcast style, right, Bill?
That's it. We're doing it right now. And while you're thinking of what you've done, think about what you could do next year. Think about don't do
And
what I'm
hiring
doing.
us.
Get out. Yes, hire us. And that way we're thinking where we're at. But
When you're thinking
also,
about what you've done this year and you think, man, I wish I would have reached that goal better. I wish my
how could I
culture and my
do it
company
better?
was a little bit different. Or, man, we lost some really good people this year. How could we have prevented that?
Yeah.
I can tell you how. It's us.
Yes, it's us. Let us help you do that. But
And you, yeah.
in that vein, and in understanding how this season went and what was amazing, we had some amazing people on the show for the second season.
100%.
We had some people that really brought some heat this year, some favorite moments, some episode components that I really felt hit home for a lot of really good, poignant talking points, and helped me sometimes in my own coaching too, where I would be coaching with a group and say, "Hey, recently we just discussed this from another coach's point of view, and it was really insightful."
Okay, so give me
One of
one.
those,
Stop teasing. Stop teasing. Yeah, give it to us.
there's a couple of them I give. So first off, I want to talk about most surprising for me, out of the blue. Like I had no idea. Right, there was a couple of them that really stood out for me, but Jamal Cornelius
First one on
was
my list.
yeah, right. You and I, we got Jamal. You asked him to be on. We had barely listened to some of his other podcast stuff just to kind of get a feel for Jamal, and then he came on and just blew us away. Blew
Yeah.
us away.
Jamal's episode, Jamal Cornelius, Maximizer versus Perfectionism. And I agree. We did not know him. He reached out to me cold on LinkedIn. That's how you do it sometimes, people. You just got to send a DM. Hey,
Right.
heard your
Yeah.
podcast. I like it. Can I be on it? I checked him out on a podcast. I thought, sounds good. We had him on. And I agree. He talked about MVPs, minimum viable products, when he's working on things because he has that maximizer pull to do everything perfect. And I think one of my main takeaways from Jamal's episode was it's okay to strive for excellence, but let's avoid exhaustion.
Yeah, yeah. And Jamal was so honest about his relationship with his wife and how she sees his excellence and his maximizer and perfectionism versus how he sees it and where it plays for the two of them. I just really found that Jamal not only was incredibly honest and forthright in that episode, but he exemplified the maximizer versus perfectionism component in the way he approached the podcast. I thought, man,
Yeah.
when he stepped in and started running, going and speaking and giving us the sermon on where he felt that dividing line was and where it's really important for him, I just thought, man, I could hear Maximizer all over you. You
Yeah.
are dripping with it.
It was a master's class in Maximizer. So if
Yeah.
you are out there and you have Maximizer, you work with someone who has Maximizer and you want to learn more about it, I would check out Jamal's episode because I think he did an excellent job of talking about both the things that have led him to success through his Maximizer and the pitfalls that he has to
Hmm.
avoid to make sure that Maximizer doesn't push the limits and then really just get in your way as a detriment.
Yeah. Really well said. Really. How about you? Do you have another one where you were like, what's
Yes.
another standout moment for you?
One of the ones that I feel like I reference a lot and tell people to go listen to is Tara Grovod. How do I
Hmm.
say her last name? I
I
wrote it
don't
down, then I was
know.
like, have I ever said this out loud?
I started to look at it and I was like,
Grohovd.
I actually,
Grohovd.
I actually
Anyways,
avoided
Tara.
Gronhoved, right? I avoided it because I
Yeah.
didn't want to have to say her last name. That's why I didn't want.
Yeah. So Tara's episode though was is Clifton Strengths too nice for workplace conflict? And oh, you want to talk about another masterclass in this?
Hmm.
She really talked about intent versus impact, which I use a little bit in some of my coaching, but the way she articulated it, I have brought into so many groups since then and into
Fair.
coaching sessions as just clarity on the communication. And I think the way she was able to articulate that Clifton strengths and the language of it help you navigate conflict better
Hmm.
and are not making excuses for people, are not saying, oh, well, they're just a woo, so it's fine. No, but it actually is a language to a tool in your tool belt when there is conflict present. I mean, so many great frameworks, tips, tricks. Everybody on LinkedIn, we made some, we always post clips. People were loving everything Tara had to say. So,
Yeah.
just if
Yeah.
you use Clifton Strengths in your work environment with a team, that is an episode to not miss. Go and listen to it again because Tara delivered, and you can see the impact of the people who get to work with her because she really has been using it strategically in with teams for conflict.
Yeah, yeah, very well said. The we pointed it out in that episode as well. How often we make the point, at least I do for sure, but I think we both make that point pretty regularly that if you want to have an easy discussion and be recognizing, right, make it water instead of champagne is one of your constant comments about recognition and identifying people. If you want to have those discussions, Gallup Clifton Strengths is a great way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you want to have hard discussions, if you want to have a moment where you need to break something down with somebody that didn't go well, Gallup Clifton Strengths is a great way to have that discussion. Let's lead in with what I know you do, what I know you do naturally and reoccurringly. How can I help you do more of that because it didn't happen in this situation? What on your I need am I not giving you from the I need point to make sure that we're doing this? In other words, how
Mm-hmm.
can I help you be better at the things we know are natural and reoccurring for you? And Tara
Absolutely.
just rocked that. She
Mm-hmm.
had so many good instances and ideals around how you can think about that, bringing it to a group or bringing it even to a really small group. And I just, yeah, Tara's a great episode and a great experience on is it too nice for real workplace conflict? If you still have that thought after listening to Tara's, shut down our podcast. I think
Yeah,
we did a really good job with that one. So yeah,
absolutely. What else you
love it.
got on your list there?
Oh, I mean, I could just go on. I think another surprise guest for me. I've always known she's pretty amazing. I've met her a couple of times, but all the times we've been together, it's been kind of personal, just low key chat, talking. Pamela Nelson, when she came on this show,
Mm,
I was just blown away by it's almost like you watch somebody blossom on a podcast. And I know she has
right.
another podcast with somebody else, another great guest we had. But just, I mean, having more, I guess, intimate, small time
Mm-hmm.
conversations with her face to face. And she's a little soft spoken and she's, very kind and very generous and always nice. And then, man, you get her on a podcast and she just lit up. She
Yeah.
brought so much great information. Hers was all about empathy in the C suite.
Yep.
Can empathy be in the C-suite, or is it killing C-suiters? And her ability to compare that empathy to Inside Out and to talk about the
Yeah.
movie and to bring up all the characters and to make that connection, and how we need that from a C-suite point of
Mm-hmm.
view, it blew my mind. It was just so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And she is not only a Clifton Strengths coach, but she's also a therapist. She is an author of books. She said the thing, let me make sure I say it right because my kids know it now because I have
Oh,
been saying it to
yes.
it. When I
Yes.
make a mistake, if I think I'm a mistake, wait, no. Just because I made a mistake doesn't mean I'm a mistake. If I think I'm a mistake, I'm
I am
mistaken.
mistaken.
I
Yep.
am
You are correct.
mistaken. That was just amazing. Again, I have told my children, they know it now. They
Hmm.
know it better than I know it.
Yeah.
And that's what she writes children's books around that. And so to have someone as articulate and knowledgeable about empathy as she was on here in her beautiful voice, that soft but like sincere, just you could listen to her voice all day. Excellent, excellent. Pamela
Yeah.
Nelson, which is Tara, who she has her podcast with. So those
Yeah.
two, go listen to their podcast, friends,
Yeah.
because it's the
Give
two
it
of them on there all the
Give it
time.
a listen. Yeah. If you want more Pamela Nelson in your ears, go there. Go listen to that, because, again, the two of them right on some of our top fives that you and I want to talk about, and they were phenomenal. They were just really
Mm-hmm.
fun to have on, and really, really impactful, I think, for the tougher topics that they kind of came on to address.
Mm-hmm.
So, I could go on. Give me one more of yours, and then I'll give you another one of mine.
Well, I feel like this one is very selfish of me, but my friend
So
Anna
selfish.
Pressler came on, and her
So
and I
selfish.
and you talked about woo versus relator
And
because
golf.
I'm
We talked
woo
about golf.
and go. I'm woo. Anna is relator. You have both. I did not know. So I went to grad school with Anna. We've kept in touch since then. I did not expect to do a entire episode on the evolution of our friendship
Mm,
with the woo versus relator. You know, we are not super planful in our episodes. So we have a topic idea, but we basically tell our guests, like, let's just riff. Come in, say what you
have
want.
fun.
We're just going to follow the conversation.
Hmm.
And I'm not a real thoughtful person when it comes to like planning. So I had no plan. And her and I really did a deep dive on that episode of how woo and relators show up in relationship. And
Yep.
it honestly unlocked some things for me that I know about myself, some things I like, some things I don't like. And just, I've had a lot of people who have listened to that episode and really appreciated that. I think those are two themes that are very popular. I think in relationship, whether it's the workplace or in your personal life, they show up different and it can cause hurt feelings or conflict or different things because, and I will go back to what Tara said, the intent versus impact. So, like, my woo is comfortable having a broad range of friends. Whereas those relators, they're more comfortable with that close knit group of friends. And so just being able to explore them when you're in relationship with each other, the things that happen and how they evolve and what it takes to get close to people, it was really interesting. So I was actually very surprised and delighted in that episode and not knowing which way it was going to go, but it was for me personally like a little therapy session, so I very much appreciated it.
Popular episode for us. I think whenever you're going to talk about woo, which is one we get asked about all the time, and fortunately we had a bunch of woo on, so
Mhm.
we had that moment. Popular episode for us, and she was really thoughtful, engaging, and she had a little edge to her, which I thought
Yeah.
was really, which came in really well. If you want to know what it's like sharing a room with Sarah overseas while you're out and about, that is the episode to check into and to find out. Hey, I wasn't sure I liked you right at the beginning, but I'll tell you
Mhm.
what, if you wanna decide if you like somebody, share a room overseas, and where you have to get to know them, and how
That's
we
right.
built that framework, and how suddenly I realized, wow, actually, I kind of like that shininess part,
Mm-hmm.
instead of the pure depth that a relator would normally feel. And look at what it's turned in for the two of you, right? It
Yeah.
has turned into a very long term, fruitful relationship for how you guys have decided to be
Mm-hmm.
adults, and
Yeah,
that's
and I
amazing.
think I think a lot of woos need relators and relators need woos. We explored that in the episode. You know, she has a lot of woo friends and it's because she is attracted to that and she likes that and they are pursuing her and she needs that pursuit. And she was talking about sometimes it might be hard for two relators if they're
Yeah,
not forced in proximity to get to know each other because who's going to be the one to reach out first because
yeah.
they're being protective. So I think it's really interesting to explore those dynamics. And it was fun to almost talk about it in a more professional lens as opposed to, or personal lens as opposed to professional lens, which is so much of what we talk about.
Well, I also would think talking about it from a professional lens made it a little more therapeutic for you.
The
And I
personal
would,
lens, yeah.
yes. Well, actually, the professional side, because if you talk about it from the personal side, I may not be super open to explaining all of my feelings. But on the pro side, we're on a podcast, so I want to be honest, and
Oh,
like
yeah,
we
that's
could.
not what I was meaning, but
I
yes.
know, I realize, but
Yes.
as I hear it, and another, I guess, revelation that came from Anna's episode for me was that I think I tend to separate friends, into my woo
Mm,
category and my relator category, right? Because they are very different in how they associate with people. And so there are definitely friends I woo. There's definitely friends that I tend to have very
yeah.
deep relators with. And I'm just that odd, strange dude that happens to have both of them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, she was impactful. She was really good. Plus, I got to hear great stories about going to college with Sarah, which, I mean, for me, that's,
That's right.
I
That's
mean, not
right.
knowing. Yeah. Uh, I, I got a lot, two-time person, been on quite a bit with us. Somebody we both know really well from the coaching community and respect. Brandon Miller came on and did a competition episode about,
Mm,
is competition really go? Is it necessary, or is it killing certain things? And I give Brandon all the credit in the world for having no ambiguity. Competition is all and everything. We
yep.
need it. We need to have it, all the way to hitting us with lines like, the first word of woo is winning. That's a
Yep.
competition, right? We need to have that and build into it. And I really appreciated his take on the competition, where it succeeds, where it doesn't always have to be stab you in the face, but I have to have that edge, and I need to keep moving on it. I would also tell you a little bit about what I was talking about earlier today on my misses lately. Is I'm not thinking far enough in advantage of my own business. Listening to Brandon's episode and then thinking of being competitive has helped me understand I need
Mm,
to think further out, and I need to
yeah.
feel into that, because competition is low for me. But his wonderfully articulate way of providing why competition is very very pertinent for him and his business, and instilling it in the people around him really meant a lot to me. So I really appreciated hearing that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. That episode was so good. It made me so excited for this season to do the great strengths debate because I feel like I got so many good tidbits about competition from Brandon Miller. He talked about how people with high competition are often very prepared because they
Mm-hmm.
want to do really well. So they often will, when it's working in a mature state, be super prepared for what they're doing. You could see that looking like Achiever,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that preparation and or responsibility even, and just like the need to win. Like if I know I can't win, then maybe I don't even want to play. Like I want to win everything. And I just appreciate that because I meet so many people who have competition in their top 10 and they're almost embarrassed by it initially. Sometimes they're like, oh, I have competition, but I'm not competitive against other people. I'm competitive against myself.
Right, right.
And it's funny because that's typically achiever. Typically, achiever is competitive with yourself. So you could have both achiever and competition, and I'll say, sure. But if you have straight up competition, I know that you're just probably trying to be nice because the truth is you probably are competitive with other people. You're just in an environment or a situation, or you've been groomed to say that it is not okay to want to win. And
And you're
and
using your competition right at that second to get a
yeah,
leg up, right?
that's right.
Well
That's right.
said. Well said. Yeah.
Yeah, so that you're absolutely right. That episode on competition, if you have that, if you know, work with someone who has it, if you're in a relationship with someone who has it, I would go listen to it. Personally, for me, my husband has competition at 6. My son, who is 7, has to have competition. He is the most competitive, and it's really
Positive.
hard because it's very, very low for me. And so that episode from Brandon was really helpful, and just even in my own house of how I think about those men in this household.
Yeah. No, I love the fact you brought up it's low for you. It's low for me too. Hold on, let me look here. 32 for me. So it's amazing what we take from an episode on something that is so low for us because we just don't possess it. It's fascinating to watch somebody that has it and how
Mm-hmm.
they are willing to utilize it and when it's really a strength for them as they're stepping into it naturally and reoccurringly and how we just
Mm-hmm.
don't do it. What could we do to make that happen? So I've had
Yeah.
to up my responsibility to think about business, but I let Brandon's words of competition spur me on to do
Yeah.
that. And we point out frequently how our strengths look to us through our eyes is very, very different than how it looks to other people that are watching you. And a big component of the learning phase of Gallup and Clifton Strengths is understanding that difference, right?
Mm-hmm.
When are you in a blind spot that you think, man, I'm really, really doing well here, and everybody else is like, nope,
Right. And that's where I
nope.
would go back to that intent versus impact. And one of the reasons I love Clifton Strength so much is because it gives us understanding of people's intent because I'm not competitive. So when I see sometimes people going after that win so hard, I see the impact of that and I think, whoa, my relationship building themes are like, oh, you're hurting people. Why are you doing this? When I can open up and go, they have competition. So their intent is probably different than what I'm thinking it is. It gives me empathy and understanding for where they're coming from. And then think about that. If I manage that person or they're on my team, I'm experiencing their competition through my relationship building themes. I'm going to be judgy. I'm going to have opinions. If I open it up to say, oh, they are highly competitive, how could this be coming up? That doesn't mean I'm reprimanding them, but it means I can have an actual, honest, empathetic conversation with more curiosity, more understanding, helping them also see the other side. So we can honor their need to win and also the impact that that could be having on the group, the team, the organization.
I think you just wrapped up Rachel Keegay's entire episode in in that Sarah soapbox moment, the one we
That's
just
right. That's
had, right?
right.
Rachel came on to talk with all three of us having woo. Can woo be annoying? And she actually pointed out in that episode where she realized somebody in a meeting she was in was definitely not giving her was pushing her away, didn't like dealing with her. And she came up after the fact and said, "Hey, what was that about? What's going on?" And he said, "You're so fake right now from the way we all
Yeah.
know you."
I think that was from high school when she
Yeah.
was, yeah, she was at a competition or something, a
Yeah.
speech drama
Yeah.
thing or something.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so very fascinating to hear it. And your take on it just reminded me of Rachel's episode where she really
Mm-hmm.
felt, oh, and it was so good to hear it, but hard to hear it. Right. And
Right.
we want to point out where they feel like they need to be honest with us, right? When can we have those moments? Or are they not going to be honest and we just have to live in the blind spot and suss it out ourselves?
That's right.
And those are coaching moments that you and I both do with many of our clients, right? How do
Mm-hmm.
we get you to see them and feel comfortable about them, but also to know them better? So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Another great comment from Rachel. I love that honesty from her.
Yeah, that was a great story to really highlight that point. I'm going to tell you an episode I got so much energy from that
Hmm.
I was just tickled by. Melissa Ortiz.
Yeah, it's on my list. It was the next one I was
She
going to
came
talk to.
in. I don't even remember. We had a topic picked. And then on the pre show call, as we're talking about things, we decide to just bloop, change it, put a bunch of activators on a podcast. We changed the topic mere minutes before hitting the record button.
Yes, we did. Yes.
And oh, that energy could sustain me for life. If I am ever on life support, you just bring that kind of energy to me and I will sit right up and be like, I'm back in the game.
The beginning of that episode, you came in just resonating. It was like we couldn't turn your mic down far enough. You were just in love with the fact that we've talked about doing this other thing, which is Take It Again or One and Done was Melissa's. And I put her down. I nominated her as best pivot we've ever considered or had, because we literally just at last minute threw that together, and she was epically great about it. And one thing I know about Melissa, she will always be honest. She will always tell you everything, whether you want to hear it or not. And she did. She was,
and that's why she's a great podcaster, because I'm going to be honest, and no shade to anyone, because I do this too. If you're going to get on a podcast and say, well, it is and it's not, it depends. Okay, thank you. That is so boring. Melissa Ortiz came on and said, don't retest. No, don't. And I love that. That's why she's a good podcaster, because she has an opinion and she has clear thoughts, and she is very good. I think she has command, right? She is very good at just laying it down. And that makes a good podcaster. That makes a good coach. That makes a good business owner. So she is nothing but my respect and admiration. I now #goals want to be Melissa Ortiz.
Yeah, Melissa's phenomenal. Great friend. We're doing some other work together, Melissa and I. And I cherish the moments I get to hang out with Melissa, because you always know you're going to hear what you need to hear. She's going to be really open and honest. And you're absolutely right. In the podcast, she brought a energy that I found surprising when Micah was on our podcast season 1, which is, who cares, right? Who cares what the order is? Who cares why you want to take it twice? Or it doesn't matter. What really matters is that we've started at a baseline. Let's use this to build a better you. And I think you have been phenomenal at that component of it, in saying, don't let the assessment tell you who you are. You tell the assessment who you are. And I think your through line on that has been really consistent, and it's echoed in some of the best episodes we've had.
Yeah. And from the people who used to work at Gallup. So, you know, it's got to be true.
That's true. All the Gallup employees are like, just stop.
They're like, I don't know my top 10. I don't know. It's whatever. This is a tool we're going to use to do better. And that's what we want people to know. Like, is this an assessment that you can take and it's funsies? Sure. Like, I'm never going to stop you from having funsies. Okay, people? Like, get out there and learn about yourself. Hurrah. But if you desire to go deeper, to do more as an individual, as a team, as an organization, oh, the water is warm. Come on in, baby. Yeah. We can go places with this. We can change the way that you do performance reviews. We can change the way you give feedback. We can change the way you deal with conflict. We can change the way you deal with recognition. We can change your culture for better through an assessment. It really is amazing. And that's going to lead me to one of the most recent episodes, Simon Hurry.
Yeah, I was just going to go there when you brought it up, because I'm giving Simon, I actually wrote his award on this, saying Simon might have been the best episode of this year. Just what he did. There's so much great stuff we did all year, but the way Simon put it together and the way he brought so much great energy, and it took us multiple times to get him on the podcast from a technical point of view. We had to jump through a lot of hoops. I guess we didn't. Simon did. He was overjoyed to do it, loved being on it, validated the work that we do, and then added a whole nother layer to it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And we're like, oh man. So, yeah, Simon's episode, for me, as we record this, it just came out this week for us, right? So it's really fresh in my mind, and listening to him do it. And I already know people that have reached out to sign up with Simon for coaching based on his podcast. I find that, if you want to move the needle, listen to Simon's as a masterclass in how to present in a way that will get the needle moved by getting people towards you.
Absolutely. I don't know how or why, but like broke my brain.
Yeah.
I am enamored by what Simon does and how he uses the psychology twist of taking Clifton Strengths to the next level. So impressive. And the way he's doing it right because he has elevated this to work with some very high profile teams, sports teams, coaches in the world. I mean, using Clifton Strengths as a competitive advantage. I mean, seriously, a master class in that this is more than just an assessment. This can change your life. This can elevate you to levels of success you didn't even know were possible by unlocking your DNA, folks. I mean, literally, Gallup has the little DNA thing at the top of the assessment for your results. This is an insight into your DNA. Listen, I'm not a science person. I don't know exactly how they were able to get those 200 questions on a Likert scale to figure you out so exactly, but I can tell you from the countless people that I have coached and from the thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people that all the coaches have coached out there that we've met with, it gets you down to an exact science. The amount of times of people that I work with that say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. It knows me
Yeah.
so well."
Yeah.
So imagine you have this insight about yourself. You can unlock your excellence. And if you want to know more about that, check out Simon's episode because he has, I guess, honestly, keys that I don't even possess yet.
I don't possess them either, and I am fascinated by everything that Simon is doing. And the revelation in the middle of the episode, something I did not know about Simon. He's like, and Gallup hates me. I'm not even certified.
Look at
And
all
I was
these
like, what?
rogue coaches.
What? Wait, back up, right? And just it goes to show that if you really invest in something and you really want to learn and he has so much influencing in his themes and so
Oh my
much
gosh.
significance
Yes.
and self-assurance and command and all of that influencing shows not only in the episode but the way he approaches the differences in how he looks at Gallup and how he teams with people to make them understand more the psychology component around what he does. It was a fantastic episode. I absolutely loved it.
Yes. And he said something on that episode that has really stuck with me. And I feel like I've kind of said it and used it in the past, but not as directly. He talked about how influencing themes are all about energy. And I feel like I typically would say relationship building themes are people and influencing themes are people, where executing and strategic are more of like the doing.
Hmm.
And to make that small caveat that the influencing themes impact the energy in the room with people, again, I feel like I was so close to it, but that sort of language has really helped me, even in some of my coaching sessions I've had with people, just really twist the key more of the impact that those themes can have.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when you see it in other people, just think of it from the energy point of view, not necessarily from what the theme says about it, but think of the energy that person is bringing. If you
Right.
convert it in that way and look at the psychology slash energy, it really was insightful. So I agree with you. And if we're judging episodes like Simon's on, let's say, let's just use a metric of time because you and I are free flowy. We'll do whatever we want. Up until Simon's episode, we had one other that was that long. It was very long. Simon's went 1 hour, 16 minutes. We had one prior to that was 1 hour, 14 minutes.
Who
So I
was
think
it?
if we're going by that metric, we got to think that was a pretty good episode. And I would agree. She was pretty phenomenal. It was Kelly Dries. And
Yes.
she came in to talk about parenting and using this assessment from a kind of a parenting point of view. But she started it somewhat a little ways into it, talking about how crippling relationship themes are sometimes in parenting, and
Yeah.
how when she first took it, how oh my God, this is going to kill me. I can't bring these relationship themes. It's going to be a terrible parenting moment that I'm coming in with all this blue, and how she flipped that around, right?
Yeah.
It's now as a parent, how these are strengths for me and I know how to make them a strength. So I'm going to use these to make that happen. I thought Kelly's insight was hyper focused on the subject we had from the parenting point of view, and it was super super spot on.
Yes, I remember that she said she reads her kids like 5 books a night. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
could
I think your
like
pen ran
that's
out of ink 4 times on Kelly's because you were writing so many notes. Like, how do I do that?
yeah."
Right? So,
I was like,
yeah,
"That is another level." I don't have the energy or stamina to do that at nighttime. But you're right, Kelly really brought it in thinking about and balancing a career between having a family, being a mother, and building a business and what that looks like. And I know that this was episode or season one, the last episode, but we
hmm
did an interview with Liz, who also talked about parenting and motherhood. And I still
hmm
think that stands out to me as one of the best episodes we've ever done.
yeah,
The way Liz Volker was able to shed light. She's a stay at home mom. She homeschools her kids. She is so all in on strengths. Her husband has done her strengths and just the type of stuff that she does too. If you are a parent out there, both Kelly Dries and Liz Volker's episodes, master classes and how to consider your Clifton strengths at home as a parent with your children, because those women, they are doing it, they are using it. Talk about aiming your strengths.
yeah, yeah. Really, really, really well said. I do, and I take so much from the parenting ones because you and I have talked about. I'm a married in parent, right? I'm a stepfather and step grandfather, which has a different relationship, but at the
Of
same
course.
time, I'm all bought in, right? And listening to it from that parenting point of view really allows me as a step parent to feel the emotion and how maybe I could up my game a little better from the step side. So yeah, really fascinating to hear that side of it. I know, I appreciate you as a mother of three and, and as a wife and having so much of that parenting acumen that it's really been good that you've brought on several of these people that really feel insightful about the strengths that they have and the strengths their children have, and they're
Mm-hmm.
spotting them early, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
brought up competition for your son, as
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty positive he's already competitive. So
Yeah, I'm just chomping at the bit to do the Strengths Explorer with my children. They need to get a little bit older before we can
yeah,
take it. But I am strength spotting now. And that's so important, the recognition. And just think of what we can do to the world. Sorry, I'm going to just do my pitch for Miss America here. Uh,
hmm
you start as a parent making the switch to focus on recognition of what they do well, because your kids are going to do a lot of stuff that annoys you, that gets in the way, that spills milk all over. Uh, but you start to say, wow, you're really competitive. It is not pleasant when my son is showing his competition at 7 years old because he loses a game of memory and he has a complete meltdown and freak out. Or even if there is the slight chance that he might start losing, he hasn't even lost yet. It's just, his sister went on a run of 3 matches before him. I mean, the literal devastation this little boy experiences is next level. So it is
wow,
not a pleasant experience. But as a strengths coach, I recognize, wow, Henry, you are feeling so competitive right now. Winning this game was so important to you. That is much different than, hey, you need to get over it, okay?
yeah, yeah,
And so if we can start doing that, that teaches our young people to be looking for the things they do right, to be focusing on what they do well. Imagine how they're going to go into that first job, that internship, that corporate world. And then if we reinforce as managers, as supervisors, noticing what they do well and not always just don't do that, do this different, not this way, a different way. But we go in there and we say, hey, I see the way you're doing that. That's really nice. That was really smart. That's not the way we've done it before, but I love what you've brought to it. Think of how much healthier the people in this world would be, how much better
yeah,
their mental health would be. Mental health is on a decline. Engagement is on a decline. Life satisfaction, we are declining in all the things right now. The statistics out there are not great. The world is doom and gloom, okay? And you can open up your little doom box at any time and see every bad thing happening in the world, and you will, okay?
yeah,
I am
yeah,
telling you, the antidote is recognition. The antidote is
Yeah.
feeling good. It is focusing on what is right in this world. This assessment allows us to do that because it's not just a thing you do on your computer for 40 minutes. It is a mindset shift to not let the deficit culture that we are in take control, but to take power over it. Focus on recognition. It is water, not champagne. Focus on noticing what's right with people, connect with people in the real world, and have a little bit of fun. Wow, I just did it. I just did the Sarah Soapbox moment.
You did
Sorry,
it.
folks. Had
It's
to just
okay.
leave you with it.
I love this. I love my Sarah soapbox moments. I'll take them all day long. And I point out I coach. I have a men's group, right? And when you talk about mental health and recognition and acknowledgement of people, and it can be bad out there. It is, right? I meet with men regularly, and we joke it's because we don't understand women. Not true, but we do it as men because men tend to not be able to open in that way. So if you can hold that open for them and allow them to talk more about the things that are bugging them and the things that are there, it means so much to them. So I love that you brought that up. I'm gonna wrap on I'm gonna make a leap. You went to Liz Volker, who was the end of last season, to highlight your point on talking about what we're telling our kids and where we're making a difference. I'm going to leap from the end of last season to the very first episode of this season. I'm sorry, not the very first. You and I did our kickoffs, but our first guest was Jen Warner.
Yes.
Jen Warner came on and talk about high energy and honesty. She related exactly what you were talking about, which was I had a moment where I took the assessment and somebody told me yours are boring. Those are boring, right? And she said, "Well, yeah, and you're all lazy, right?"
Yep.
And so it turned into a battle, and not acknowledging people for what they do naturally and reoccurringly, not being coached to be able to have that stand up. You're right. People need to hire us, Sarah. Get
Yeah.
on the phone and hire us right now so that we can stop that sort of interaction where we're going to use it to disengage other people and not have them come together from a team and a blending point of view. So
Yeah.
Jen brought that energy right out of the gate, and I thought, wow, that was a lot of fun. That was fun to
Yeah,
hear.
she did. She also talked about just those moments where you're not happy with your strengths. You got to go through stuff that is hard. She talked about caring for aging parents, and that sometimes you are faced with challenging situations and you look at your talents and you go, crap, these aren't going to help me.
Those are gonna help.
And so
Yeah.
she really did do a great job of talking about how to deal with your strengths when you're like, I really could use some different strengths here in a
Yeah.
variety of ways,
Yeah.
and coming to terms with what you have and leaning in and using what you have, because we are born with these talents. And as much as we want to try to grow and develop, you're not going to take those things that are at the bottom of your assessment and bring them up. It's very unlikely. We've seen people do it, but it is not something that typically happens. We have to coach around it when it does happen. So you really are better off spending your energy getting to know those top 10, getting familiar with them, and figuring out how do you accomplish your goals or overcome your challenges based on your talents. And I'm sorry, you don't get to pick them. They were picked for you.
Yep. Well, very well said. Well, you know what? I think on that note, we just literally talked about some amazing moments on season 2, and if you are one of our guests and you weren't mentioned in this particular podcast, you were amazing for us as well. I'm just going
Absolutely.
over some of the things and we loved having every one of our guests. Everyone brought so much good information and data and personal feelings and honesty. So I know personally for me, I am honored and humbled that people choose to come on, be really honest, be open about it, and then share it with the world, share it with our arsonists. So
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for that. So
I agree with you. I'm so thankful. If we didn't mention you, it's not because your episode wasn't great. It's just because we ran out of time. Imagine that. We just
I
started
know.
chatting too much. We run out of time.
We
But you're
talk,
right.
things
I'm
happen.
so grateful to everybody. You know, we send these requests out. Sometimes people send them to us, and we ask a lot of our guests. We have long episodes. We do know. We understand these are long episodes, and we appreciate our guests taking the time out of their days to join us to give back to the Clifton Strength coaches and enthusiast community that is out there. It has been so much fun. I just got to pat ourselves on the back here, Bill,
Yeah.
that to bring real life conversation to Clifton Strengths, because there's a lot of really professional content out there. And I love that. I'm glad we have access to it. And what Bill and I sought to do when we created Strengths on Fire was to bring some levity, some fun, some real human conversations, because we use this every single day in our personal and professional lives. We wanted to show people what that looks like, how you
Yeah.
could also make it a little bit more approachable and not like a big assessment on a shelf way up high, but something
Right.
that you can get down and manhandle and use in your day-to-day life. So I think we have accomplished it. I think
I
that
hope so.
we accomplished what we set out to do.
Yeah, we absolutely, and I felt I don't want you looking at a piece of paper and going, oh, I now know everything, right? I wanted you to be able to listen to some of the other opinions and breakdowns of how these themes come together. So you're absolutely right. I don't want you just, confused or, man, I got all these reports and now I don't, right? Where do I go to get some information? Well, one place you can go is hire a coach, but you can also check out a sequence of different podcasts talking about where they go, not just ours. There's a lot of good Gallup podcasts out there. Ours is the best. I mean, let's not.
I mean, I think we're just fun. I think we're the most fun. If you're looking to have a good time, which why would you not? I think that
Yes.
this is a great place to land.
Yes, come hang out with us. Come have tea with us. Those watchers on YouTube notice I drink tea all episode. Pete even
And
pointed
I
out.
sometimes make my noise through my straw.
Yeah, Pete even pointed out. He was like, "I can hear you drink on the podcast" when he was on, and I was like, "Well, okay, I'll try
Some
to
people
tone it
hate
down."
that. Yeah.
Well, with that, fascinating, amazing second season, Sarah. Thank you so much for the co-hosting. Loved every person we had on. So many great moments. So many people we got to experiment with and bring some ideas with that were different and highlighted personalities and strengths and the way that we all view this. So thank you for a wonderful season 2.
Well, and thank you. You are the tech god. You have figured out all the behind the scenes things. You do all the tech setup. You do all of the editing and posting the videos. Hallelujah, because I could never.
No.
Okay, so thank you for allowing me to show up and just bring what I can bring with my talents and post it on the internet so people listen to it. I appreciate your technical expertise, sir.
Love doing it. And Simon, if you've listened to this one, your episode was a nightmare to edit. So I'm so glad it worked out because it turned out to be such a great episode. So, well, with that, again, Sarah, wonderful season. Love our second season. Love our arsonists. Love the people that listen to us. Leave us some notes. Leave us some thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you. And in that vein, I guess we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Strengths on Fire. If today's conversation sparked something in you, be sure to subscribe, share, and leave a review. We're here bringing you fresh insights to fuel your growth and ignite your potential. Remember, your strengths are powerful, so let's keep the fire burning.
And if you're looking to transform your organization through strengths-based strategies and coaching, reach out to Sarah Collins, founder of Collins Collective, or Bill Dipple, founder of Bill Dipple Strengths Coaching. Connect with Sarah at wearecollinsco.com, follow her on Instagram at SarahCoachCollins, or email her at sarah@wearecollinsco.com, SARAH. You can reach Bill at BillDipple.com, Bill, DIPPEL.com, or on Instagram at Bill Dipple Coach, or email him at bill@BillDipple.com.
Please note the opinions, views, and interpretations of Clifton Strengths expressed in this podcast are solely those of the hosts and the guests. They have not been approved, sanctioned, or endorsed by Gallup in any way.
Until next time, keep your strengths on fire and let's light up what's possible together. Bye, Bill.
Bye, Sarah.